Look, I believe Shedeur Sanders is a good quarterback, but let's keep it real on this channel, guys. He did not play good in his NFL season debut. I got to be honest. Now, I'm not going to say and be one of those people who says he's trash, he can't play in the NFL, he doesn't belong there, because he absolutely does belong in the NFL, and I believe he is a good quarterback. So I'm not going to judge a guy, especially a guy who's coming in off limited reps. You know, backup quarterbacks, most backup players in general, aren't getting a lot of reps in practice. And you're talking about a guy who came in, you know, middle of the game, middle of the third quarter, played the rest of the game. You're talking about a guy who played a quarter and a half of football. I'm not going to judge a guy off that. But there are some things that he has to address. The number one biggest thing that I think he has to correct, which is unfortunate because I believe this is an issue you have to correct in the offseason, is his drifting. All that backwards drifting and running backwards trying to evade sacks, he has to have that clock in his head, that internal clock in his head, to get rid of the football, because that's going to hurt him. In the NFL, guys are running 4.4s at the end, 4.5s, 4.3s. Guys, there's freak athletes that are rushing the quarterback, and they're getting paid a lot of money to sack you, bro. And Shedeur Sanders is a good athlete. He can run a little bit. He's a good football player, but he's not the most athletic guy on the field. So he's got to have that clock in his head. You know, Marie's not there. It's not there. Boom, boom, boom. Get rid of the football, because taking those 10, 12-yard sacks, that's how you get benched, and that's how you don't start in this league. And you know, he came in the game, had 2 completed passes, but after a while, you know, it wasn't good, right? He threw an interception. Obviously, as I mentioned earlier in the video, the whole taking sacks, he's got to break that habit. It's a bad part of his game. It's disgusting. He's got to stop that. And, you know, there were some balls that he threw that I thought were pretty good, and the receivers got to come down. But the truth is, whether you're getting all the first-string reps or not, or you're getting backup reps, it's the NFL. When your number's called, you have to be ready, man. You have to be ready, because you never know when the guy can get down. Now, I do blame Stefanski a little for this, right? Because, you know, at first, Shedeur was the third-string quarterback, so we didn't expect him to get first-team reps. But when Dillon Gabriel gets elevated and Joe Flacco was traded, why is Shedeur Sanders not getting any reps with the ones? I'm not saying he gets all the reps, but let's say, you know, they're doing 8-play racks. He should be getting at least 2 plays a rack so the O-line can get used to his cadence. You had guys, I think Teller said in the interview, he's never heard the dude's cadence. That's a big issue, because playing football, playing quarterback is more than just dropping back and throwing passes and making the right reads. It's a chemistry sport. You have to have chemistry from the quarterback to the center, to the O-line here, your cadence, to the receivers, knowing how you throw the football. You know, where do you expect him to settle? From you knowing what kind of route and how, you know, their body language and what they're going to do. It's all based on chemistry, and chemistry comes with reps. You cannot get chemistry if you're not getting reps in practice. And I believe that was a coaching mistake by Stefanski. I'm not one of those guys who are going to say that Stefanski is purposely trying to, you know, hurt Shedeur Sanders. He has a job to keep, right? You know, Stefanski is getting paid to win games. Now, he's not doing a good job at it, but he has to win games. So I believe if he's the best player, blah, 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 he's going to be out there. I don't believe he's purposely trying to tarnish him, but I also don't believe that Stefanski really likes him. I don't believe that Stefanski really wants him on the team. I don't think that Stefanski really wants to coach the guy, but he has to coach him. But overall, you know, I think him not getting reps with the ones, him not getting in there, you know, preparing for a bad day, if Dillon Gabriel, a guy with injury history, goes down, that's bad coaching, and that's all the blame on Stefanski right there. Also not going to sit here and just crucify Shedeur Sanders, right? He didn't play good. Most backups wouldn't have played good at all. But I thought he did some good things as well. In that 2-minute drill, I thought he made some great throws. He stepped up, let some balls rip. Some balls I felt that his receivers should have caught. The one, I think number 44 dropped one pass. And now obviously that one ball in the end zone, that would have been a tough catch, but that would have been great to see that guy come down with. And I thought he made some good plays with his feet, you know, extending for a first down and extending drives. But overall, you know, Shedeur has to get better. And that's why I want to see him with the full week of practice, right? If Dillon Gabriel's out this week with the concussion or whatever he's hurt with, I want to see Shedeur Sanders get a whole week of practice with the ones, right? Building that chemistry with the O-line, building that chemistry with his receivers. And I want to see him get a full week of practice in and see him play a full game from start to finish, and then I'm going to judge him after that. You know, I'm not going to judge a guy, any player, right, who goes out there in the middle of a game, quarter and a half, because half the damn time, the game plan is not catered towards your strengths and your weaknesses. It's catered towards the guy in front of you. They prepare for the other guy. So I want to see him with a full week of practice. I want to see him, you know, with getting all reps with his O-line, his receivers, and I want to see him with a full game, and then I'm going to judge him, man. So I think we have to slow down. I know he gave a lot of guys, a lot of haters ammo about, you know, saying he sucks and, you know, see, this is why he was drafted there and not the first round. But let's slow our roll, man. Let's give it some time, and let's see what happens this upcoming week in this upcoming game, because I believe personally he's going to be a lot better than what he was this past weekend. And honestly, I know people are going to say, well, Baker Mayfield was traded and, you know, got signed, and then 3 days later he led a game-winning drive. Colin Kaepernick, got his job by coming in the game and filling in for a guy, Tom Brady, etc. But these weren't rookie quarterbacks. These guys that put in a few years in the league before they got their opportunity. They were veterans. They were older and more mature players. He's a rookie. We don't see a lot of rookies play well in general, let alone guys who've been a backup the entire year come in and just play well right away. So that's why I said, man, give it some time. Let's see him do a full week of practice, and let's see him play a game from start to finish with a game plan that tailors towards his strengths and weaknesses, and then let's judge him, man. But I'm excited to see Shedeur Sanders get better from this 1 week plan to the second week, and I think as a Brown fans, they need a spark, and I believe he can provide them that spark. But let me know what you guys think about Shedeur Sanders and his future with Cleveland. Make sure to like this video, comment, and most importantly, subscribe for more content.